Welcome back. India are into the Champions Trophy final. We already know this, but what we don't know is whether it's going to be New Zealand or South Africa into the finals playing against us. At the moment, South Africa batting are at 138 for 8. I beg your pardon, 220. They need 138 in how many balls, Rika?
137 runs in 54 balls. That's the equation.
All right, so
right
137 odd runs left. So thank God we've got Rika with us in the studio for all of this. But it does seem impossible at this stage. And I think at this stage, with the earlier performance of New Zealand, Rachin Ravindra and Kane Williamson both striking hundreds, it seemed very difficult for South Africa to actually win this match. Well, joining us now, a very special guest, Farooq Engineer, former India cricketer, Dilip Doshi as well, and also Rakesh Rao, the senior sports journalist. Thank you all very much for being with us. Farooq bhai, let me come to you first, sir. Can India's spin quartet overpower New Zealand's batting on a slowing Dubai pitch?
Well, India should start as favourites, having beaten them recently, and today, having absolutely outplayed quite a strong South African 11. South Africa have been very good in all the departments, bowling, batting, fielding. But have they been chokers again? I don't know what you can say about them. But although India beat Australia, although India beat New Zealand recently, we should not get complacent because New Zealand will have learned from the mistakes from the previous game, and I think they'll come back much stronger. So we shouldn't take them lightly at all. My heart says, my head says India are going to win.
Your heart will always say India, no, Farooq Sahab?
Kya kare yaar? I live in England, but my dil se to desi ho. Always have been. But the thing is, it'll be a great final, as both sides are very evenly matched. And Rachin Ravindra, after all, he's an Indian, But what a tremendous player he is. What a tremendous all-rounder.
Absolutely.
Great batsman, great bowler, great fielder. He's the one man we should be getting out cheaply, and I think we'll be home and dry.
Let me take this question to Mr. Doshi, who's been an ace spinner during his times. When we look at the New Zealand outfit, we can see Ravindra. Leading from the front is Mitchell Santner, Rachin Ravindra and Glenn Phillips. The way they put the spin choke on the South Africans, do you think that Indians need to be wary of this trio?
Look, I think we have recently shown in a home test series against New Zealand, on spinning pitches, we lost 3-0 and we lost very convincingly in favor of New Zealand. So obviously these New Zealand bowlers do have a psychological hold over some of our batsmen. Now I think it's going to be a battle of wits in the next days because the pitch is slightly slower than, of course, Lahore. Ball will stop. So I think the back foot play will be very important in these games. And the New Zealand bowlers appear to be bowling a bit slower than some of our bowlers, which makes the ball hang. So I think it's going to be a very good battle. New Zealand, of course, beating almost there to beat South Africa very convincingly.
Right.
So I think their tail will be high. As Farooq was saying that we have beaten both Australia and New Zealand convincingly recently. So we should start as favorites for sure. But I don't think, as we know as cricketers, that every game is different and New Zealand's tail will be up. And they have not won a major final for a long time. So both of us, I think, will be putting our best foot. I think it's going to be a very interesting thing. And a toss will matter a lot in my view.
Sure.
Making a lot of runs earlier on and hoping that the pitch will help the spinners. We have 4 of them later on. Let's see.
So, Rakesh, let me come to you next. I know we are talking about India's prospects in the final, but with Steve Smith calling it quits as far as one-day international cricket is concerned, I don't think this discussion would be complete without referring to that. A champion cricketer, obviously in Test match cricket, hopefully he's got a lot of time left, but one-day cricket at the peak of his abilities, calling it quits. The Aussies do this. What does this say about the way they are built in their minds?
Oh, they are completely different. I mean, they are the ones who have shown the world that if you have played your game, if you have represented the country, there's life after that. They don't just stick to one this thing. They are the ones who tell their fans that I'm going to retire after a certain match or something. They let their fans come and watch them for that one last time. They get their wives, their kids around. This is such a familiar, it is a very familiar sight. Having said that, this is what I remember talking about it to VVS also. VVS had decided to quit. That was a knee-jerk reaction after what happened between MS Dhoni and him. Now, I was referring to this example, that why don't you do that? I mean, all of you, be it, say, a Rahul or an MS Dhoni or Lakshman, our greats don't do that. They don't even want. But here they tell you that, okay, that I am going to quit. But in this case of Steven Smith, I think that is more because of the fact that, had he been able to, take his team to victory, probably we would have seen that one extra game, and he would have loved to, leave on a high. But then, of course, his contribution is immense. He has plenty of the game left in him. And interestingly, be it a Steve Smith or a Kane Williamson, or you have a Virat Kohli, or even like Joe Root, all these guys whose red ball, track record is impressive. But when they play white ball cricket, their role, remains that they are the ones who actually play the role of the sheet anchor role,
Sure.
and the entire team revolves around them. So that we won't see as far as Australia is concerned anymore.
Farooq Saab, I'll switch tracks and take the toss question to you. A stat man after last game tweeted to me that it is a probability of 0.000006% that a captain loses 14 tosses in a row. How important is it for Rohit Sharma to win that 15th one to be able to seal this game now?
Well, the toss usually plays a vital, role. But the pitches in Dubai have shown I would personally love to win the toss and bat first and put up a huge total like they did against South Africa today and put the New Zealand batsmen under pressure, because later on the ball is going to turn. We got a lot of spinners, and who can really bowl on those tracks with our fielding. And the main thing is to bat and create a huge total and put the other team under pressure. You almost won the game if you score 350 plus. I mean, that should be our main motto. And we've got the batsmen to do that. We've got a very strong batting lineup and a very, very strong spin bowling lineup.
Sure.
So I mean, we've got the two of the best over here. So let's play according to our strengths and put New Zealand under pressure.
Mr. Doshi, Virat Kohli, his big match temperament, and he's having a good run in this tournament. Just amazing how you turn around. He was having a disastrous run in Test cricket in Australia, and now he's batting beautifully. Is he really the man who can make a difference for us?
Surely, he is a tremendous cricketer, and everybody considers him, and rightly so, the best chaser to finish. And he has proven it this season and many other seasons. So a great player like him will have a lean patch. He may have an issue or two. And I think rather than jumping onto conclusions, he has also shown to people that he's still got a lot of cricket left in him. So Virat, of course, is a key factor. But let's accept that a lot of people who rallied around Virat. Let's talk about Shreyas Iyer. I think he played a very, very good knock. Later on, Rahul came and joined the party. Then I think Gill, I hope that he will play a good role. And one of the reasons I must mention here, Farooq may agree, a lot of people are playing onto the stumps is they are playing apart and their body and the bat is long apart and it drags the ball onto stumps. I hope that they correct these things on slow pitches. It happens more often. I do believe that we got a very good team, balanced team to win this tournament.
Sure.
Rakesh, getting into the previous game, there was a lot of talk around Rohit Sharma's physique. The captain, I don't know whether the news reached him or not. Do you think that these kind of news that circulates ahead of big matches adds to the pressure that the team is under, and what kind of pressure will Rohit Sharma be under to, prove his detractors wrong?
He doesn't have to do that. I don't think, that one statement from someone who is, to me, I mean, that person is a non-entity. And ahead of a ICC events semi-final, you think anybody from the Indian team is going to pay heed to what is being said far, far, far away from where they are? No matter what it is, good, bad, or ugly, they are going to keep the noise out. They are professional. They're hardcore pros. They have trained themselves both mentally and physically to deal with certain challenges. They don't want to add to it, so they are very clear. I don't think it made any difference to him. Even if he heard it, he must have just put it aside. And again, he doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. I'm very clear about that.
Farooq Saab, let's talk. We were talking about India's batting, but let's talk about New Zealand's. Daryl Mitchell, Glenn Phillips, very decent middle order firepower. They've had a great game today. That's going to be a concern for India, irrespective of whether we bat first or second.
Well, definitely both sides are very evenly matched. New Zealand have got a very, very good side. They'll be brimming with confidence, having demolished South Africa today. So New Zealand will be a different side than what we beat them earlier in the week. So let's not be complacent. New Zealand could easily, turn the key on that day and put pressure on us. So before they do that, let's try and, if we can, win the toss and get a huge total, or if we lose the toss, let's try and get them out as cheaply as possible, so that we are not under that much pressure. We've got the batsmen, whether winning the toss or losing the toss. I don't think it'll matter a huge amount. It'll certainly matter. It'll certainly help the side that wins the toss. But it's not the end of the world if we lose the toss, because we've got a good side, good bowling side, good batting side, good fielding side. So have New Zealand. And they can only bowl one ball at a time. So, let it be a very, very good final. I'm sure it'll be an extremely good final.
Sure.
Worth watching indeed. I wish I was in Dubai instead of sitting here in Chennai.
Mr. Doshi, India entered the contest as the #1 side, Australia as the #2 side. But would you say that these two outfits that are ultimately reaching the final, India of course has reached, New Zealand on the verge, are the two best sides as fans would expect to see?
I think New Zealand have proven that they are amongst the best sides. Australia were quite weakened by the loss of some of their main bowlers. But Australian team you can never write off. You've seen the young Australian bowlers who we have not seen before also have proven to be handful. And I think we were very good yesterday against them. So I do believe that New Zealand do have the most balanced side, and the spinners have come into fray at the right time. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a very keen, tight match.